Whoa, 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 alert, alert, alert. The European Union is going to fingerprint every single traveler from around the world starting October 12th. And I have one question for you. Is this the end of free movement? So this is no longer about where you're going, but it's about the data that you're going to leave behind in order to get to said destination. October 12th, 2025. That is the day the European Union will flip the switch on its new digital border system. This is known as the Entry/Exit System, the EES, and a new era begins. Under this system, every non-EU traveler, meaning Africa, Asia, America, Russia, every single one entering the Schengen zone will be fingerprinted, photographed, and their biometric data will be stored for at least 3 years. I want us to let this sink in, especially for those out there that are like, everything's fine in the West. Everything is just dandy. Everything is just this. If you know prophecy, if you know the scriptures, if you know Revelations 13, it's adding up to prophecy. Let's just put it like that. And whether you're planning a weekend trip to Paris, studying abroad in Lisbon, or exploring Rome with your family, you will not be stamped in and waved through like before. Oh no, you're going to be digitally processed. Your face, your fingers on file. So what exactly is the EES really? The Entry-Exit System is a biometric tracking program being launched by the EU to register all short-stay travelers from outside the bloc. This is going to include tourists, business travelers, students with short visas, and many diaspora Africans visiting family across Europe. Expats returning temporarily home are included in this as well. And get this, instead of relying on outdated passport stamps, the EU will now collect facial recognition data, full fingerprints, date, time, and location of every entrance and exit, and nationality and visa type. This data will be stored in a centralized EU system and shared across all Schengen states, which are compiled of about 27 countries, including France, Germany, Spain, Italy, the Netherlands, Greece, and more. And so logically, we should begin to ask, okay, so why is this happening now? Well, they are citing that the reason is to modernize their borders, reduce overstays, and prevent illegal entry. But let's be honest here. This is more than border modernization. This is about control, centralization, and data dominance. Everybody knows, or if you don't know, let me be one of the first to tell you, data is the new currency in the NWO, okay? Just to let you know. And while the EU claims it will make travel more efficient, many privacy watchdogs and independent media outlets are ringing the alarm, just like I am with you here today. Because once your biometrics are in the system, what's next after that? The future of travel is no longer physical. It's going to be digital. And here's the bigger picture, just so you know. We are moving towards a world where access requires approval. And approval is not only tied to geographical access, but financial, medical, social as well. Like, let's look at these trends real quick. We have digital ID initiatives being tied to SIM cards in Thailand, crypto crackdowns tied to passport-linked accounts, and U.S. social media screenings now required for student visa applicants. Look, if you didn't hit that like button yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, because I was looking and I'm like, I don't see anybody on YouTube talking about this. I don't see expats that are staying in alignment and seeing what's going on with these things. And so I'm like, I just may be the only one out there, you know? And I say all praises to the Most High for that. So grateful. But I feel like you should like this video, like show a little appreciation. And then this also helps us as a community push this in that algorithm so people are aware, whether you are African, American, European, Cambodian, Thai, Australian, you need to know what's going on, especially if you are someone that likes truth. You like to be in reality. You have enough strength in your system to be able to see what's real and what's fake. And so if you appreciate this information, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with at least 20 people. This is breaking news. This is news that is going to change the Western world. And so it needs to be shared, okay? Thank you so much. Oh, and let's not forget, y'all remember the 36-country travel ban by President Donald Trump, which was targeting countries like Burkina Faso, Tanzania, Libya. There were a few others. Senegal was not on the list. I'll have to go back and put that video in the description so you can see how all of these things are lining up, okay? And, you know, these embassy shutdowns and travel bans are becoming the norm in the world that we are going to. All signs point to the same exact thing over and over. And here's why this matters for the African diaspora. Just know the era of anonymous movement is over. It's done. Like, just know that. Just know heading into 2026, you got US dollar-backed stable coins. We have these super surveillance systems. We have all these tracking measures. And now the EU, just in the next couple of weeks, honestly, like, it's less than 60 days away that all these things are coming to pass. And civilizations that mimic the Western world are eventually going to have this come to them. Even some countries in Africa, not all. Some countries in Asia, not all. Some islands of the earth, not all. And so it's very critical for you to understand where your Goshens are on the planet, especially in a region that is near you. I also want you to understand, though, that the scriptures say that we are pilgrims in the earth. And, you know, Yahushua's not just saying these things for fun or shock value. Like, when he says, be a pilgrim in the earth, and when you follow his tracks, and he literally functions as somebody that's a pilgrim on the earth, just like Abraham, then that should tell you in the last days you should keep that same mindset. Renew your mind. Let this mind be in you that was also in Christ, Yahushua. And so, for many of the African diaspora, you are looking for dual citizenship, you're visiting family in former colonized nations, you're launching a business abroad, you're relocating or retiring internationally, and now every border crossed is a biometric checkpoint, especially if you're going to the EU. We're no longer just packing our luggage, we're offering up our face and fingerprints for the price of movement. And this is going to affect diaspora families returning for ancestral connection, Afrobeats artists and entrepreneurs that are touring Europe, African digital nomads avoiding passport discrimination in Asia, and yes, even you listening under the sound of my voice. If you plan to enter Europe for any reason after October 12th of 2025, just know that you're going to have to go through that process or you will be denied and brought back to wherever you hopped on that plane from. But what about those C19 protocols? Y'all remember that? Here's the real kicker. Biometric travel was being tested before C19. The pandemic type of thing that was happening just gave governments and social license to go full digital. They already saw which countries were going to comply. I actually have a list of countries that didn't comply as much in my head, but I'm going to keep that information to myself. Feel free to research it. It's free information that's out there on Google, okay? From vax passports to your health equals your access, this has evolved into your identity equals eligibility. And that should scare people, okay? And so, lastly, is this the end of free movement? Well, my friend, I would say it probably is, especially if you're going to be in the West. In fact, if you're in the West right now, America or Europe, I would leave. I would leave, especially if you're in the EU. I would think about going somewhere else. I might hop over to an island, might hop over to Africa, might hop over to Southeast Asia. I would begin to see where I can go because this is not going to look good. And we're going in fast forward right now. So already this is crazy. But then this is happening pretty quickly. Like we are fast forwarding in the age of AI to this essentially beast surveillance system. And that's just the reality of it. Like I can't sugarcoat it. I can't lie to you. I just got to tell you the truth because this is happening in real time. And if I'm honest, movement has never been free, especially for people from Palestine, Sudan, or people that are from Haiti navigating restricted airspaces. But this is something new. This is institutional surveillance at the point of entry, a system that pre-criminalizes you for wanting to travel freely. And Revelations 13:17 says, no man would be able to buy or sell unless they have the mark, While the EES is not necessarily the mark, it does represent the infrastructure of mass compliance. It shows how quickly a tourist visa can become a test of allegiance. So you're like, great, something else on the list. What do I need to do? Well, I got your back, sis, bro, whoever you are. Get familiar with EES rules, know how it works and how long your data is going to be stored. Research Schengen alternatives. Countries like Serbia, Albania, and Morocco are outside of the system. And then think about joining the State of the Diaspora Intensive. The next one is July 31st, or you can join the Mature Adult Intensive, which is a coaching and consulting program over the next 4 weeks, which begins September 1st. But I do have bad news about that one. That one is almost sold out. So we have 4 spots available and there's only 1 spot left for that 4-week program where you meet every single week with my husband. And he is going to take you through the process from being unaware and confused on how to travel internationally, how to retire, how to get your nomad residence, how to have your paperwork in order, what to look out for, to you being confident and sure with your plan for the next 5 to 10 years. Priceless, right? Because a lot of people just don't know how to move in these times. And it takes a network, it takes a community, but not just any community. You have to speak to someone who gets it, someone that sees what's happening and can give you the advice and consultative information that you need to make the best move for yourself and your family beyond 2026. And most importantly, stay spiritually ready and grounded. This is a prophetic season. Discernment is your survival token. And I have one last word for you, okay? Travel is a right, not a privilege. We travel not just to escape, but to expand, to see our world, to know who our ancestors were, to raise free children, to live beyond the grasp of an empire. But now, in this age of silent lockdowns, we must choose movement with awareness. Because the next time you book a flight, it may not be your suitcase they're scanning. It may be your soul. Shalom, shalom. I'll see you in the next video.